Good afternoon. This is Pam with Follow Your Brush. And I hope you're having a great day and had a great Thanksgiving. I'm picking up little salt particles. I had this on this, put some salt on this board. Today I am calling this the Great What If. A lot of what we do in watercolor is learning as we go. I do watch different teachers and examples, but a lot of what we do is discovering what works for me. And so a lot of that just means playing around. It's Christmas, and I'm thinking about Christmas cards and family. I like to do paintings for them. So what I have done is this is my large arches block. It's 140 pound, 12 by 16 inches. So as you can see, I put a large tape down the center, and then another round. I ran out of my red, so I finished up with my other artist tape that looks like masking tape, but it's not. And I wet the entire board, and then I went over each square with Moon Glow while it was wet. Put some salt on it. You can see some of the salt effects on this one now that it's dry. A couple of them I came in, I'm just kind of waiting for the little blocks to tell me what they want to be. I did come in with this little empty roll from some tape, and came in here like that and made these little moon shapes. What I did was the paint was already there, but I came in with a wet brush and went in around the circle and do what we call scrubbing. You just kind of scrub the old paint, the paint away. Just lighten it up. So that's what I did with that, just to kind of give that an appearance, and we'll see how that goes. Last night I was doing some, trying some little snow globes and things like that. I'm just playing. And a lot of what I do, and what a lot of artists do actually, especially with watercolor, is you just play, you experiment. I watched Bob Ross a little bit yesterday, and he was talking about how he put a little bit there here and a little bit there. And even though watercolor is not his medium, it was still interesting to see. I also want to give you a couple tips today, something that if you are budget minded and don't necessarily have money for the bigger palettes for your paint, I discovered this that I thought was kind of genius. I was at the grocery store, and this is an ice cube tray, but it has a cover. Look at that. The cover actually slides on and locks on. If I can get it off. There you go. You hear that click? And then I used it to put my paints in, like little paint wells. This one's a mess because I have used it I put the colors in, and then some of them I left empty. So I had like little mixing wells. And it works really great. Then when you're done, you can just slide this back on, and it snaps shut. Ice cube tray. And I just put this on the top. That's the top. But I did this so I knew what colors I had in here. This is my M. Graham palette. And it's just kind of a cool idea and a nice budget way to save money on storing your paints in a palette if you don't want to spend a lot of money. I think these were in a pack of 2, and I think it was like $11 for both of them or something. Maybe not even that much. I might, with inflation, who knows? But it wasn't expensive, is what I'm saying. And I just thought it was a cool way to keep some colors around. So in a palette, without spending money online every time I get some new colors and new palettes. So I just wanted to show you that. But back to this little thing. I'm just kind of letting my imagination wait and see how it goes. see what the paint tells me. See what the painting tells me. Move the salt out of the way. I like this little starry sky. I like this one. This looks kind of like a little snowbank to me. So now I can decide what I want to go back in with to continue with my little Christmas cards or whatever they're going to be. Oh, I also wanted to show you this. I just got this. I haven't even opened it yet. This is water-soluble graphitone sketching. These pencils are by Derwent. They are water-soluble, so if you use it to lightly sketch your painting, your picture, when you do go over it, it will dissolve. So it gives you a way to track, you know, your painting without, let me make some puddles here, without leaving pencil marks, is what I'm trying to say. Let me mix up some paint and see what we can do today with these. I like this little I like this seam right here, and going in with some Indanthrone blue, making myself a puddle. Got a big puddle going here. This is a metal butcher tray, is what they call it, and it's great for mixing your paints. So that's what I'm going to do here. Here's my blue, but that's a little bit too dark for what I want. Add some more water. But I think what I also want to do maybe is make this a little, what I put in originally was Moon Glow, and you can see how it kind of gives a kind of a pink tinge. I think what I want to do actually is maybe put a little bit of a tree over here. I'm going to add some Quin Magenta, and let's go a little lavender with this. Now, always when you come back in after it's been sitting a minute, I'm taking a risk because I don't really know what it's going to turn out like. And that's part of the adventure of watercolor. Maybe you can see this little pink tone down in there in the corner. That's from the Moon Glow. This is the one I'm going to work on. See that little pink tinge down in here? And this, to me, looks kind of like a little bit of a snowbank. So I'm going to kind of come in here very, very lightly right at the moment. And just build on what I already see. And do some I'm thinking Christmas and cards and family. I showed you that little bird I did for my granddaughter. And if you watched my little Frogmas tree, I did that other one for my other grandchild who's in college. I don't know if you've watched that little video yet or not, but it's just something silly I did after Thanksgiving. I did a tree with frogs on it. Let me get back in here to my lavender. I've said it many times, and I'm just going to go ahead and say it again, but your watercolor will dry lighter than when you originally put it on. This is my method of making these little trees. I call them my little happy face trees. It's just like kind of doing a smiley face. And then when we get down in here, let's put some shadow. Because I kind of saw that naturally in there. Soften this up. So when it goes down, you can soften it with some water. Get softer edges where you want them. I do want to leave some white or some of the background color. Got some blue running down here. Let me get back into my lavender a little bit. I'm gonna add some more of this blue up here. You can't see that anymore, but there it is. I kind of moved it so my hand won't get into it. Gonna add some of that on these trees. This is my brush from Tracy Levinson. I say that all the time, but I seriously love these brushes from Tracy. Look at that beautiful point. It's a combination of, this one is a combination of goat hair and synthetic, but it gives you a beautiful tip. I'm gonna let some of this blue and lavender come down into here, a little bit like shadows maybe. And let me come in here and do this little tiny one here too. It's running. I had already put my water, so it's actually giving me a bigger tree than I wanted. But you know what? I'm just gonna let it go for it. And I'm gonna come back in here and add some more to this one too. Because the closer you are to your subject, woof, that was a big drip. Then you're gonna have, your objects are gonna be bigger. Further away, they're gonna be a little bit lighter. Now it's kind of buckling here, so I wanna just kind of let this run down here a little bit. That's where I had my pink, so I'm gonna just kind of turn it this way and let it run. Now, thinking, what I wanna do is dry this brush off a little bit, squeeze some of that paint out of there, the water, get it a little drier, because I kind of want to go in over this, but I don't want it super, super defined. I could pick up some of this down here. Just kind of bring some of that out. And with a dry brush, I'm gonna dry it some more. While it's still damp, and I can also come in here, dry it. Not quite dry enough. What I'm trying to do is leave some, maybe some reflections. Probably still a little bit too wet. Maybe I just need to change the brush. Let me change to a different brush. Or I can do something else. Let me try this. I actually almost brought my Q-tips back in here today. Yeah, that's gonna work. Put some little white from the moon coming down onto my snow scene. By having several squares here at the same time, or rectangles actually, it gives me the opportunity to see what each one is telling me. Now see, this one, this moon is really totally different than this one. And what I might do here is just, I'm just gonna come in with a little bit of thicker pigment. Give this a little bit more definition to my moon. It's a full moon on a snowy night. Just kind of do it, just give it some more like that. And then some reflections this way, but we'll do it in the blue. here's my snowbank. So a lot of what you do when you're working with watercolor is you kind of let it lead the way. I prepared my base. I did my base wash, what we call our first wash. And this time I did it wet on wet with Moon Glow. I added a little bit of salt, which you really don't see in this one. And then now I'm coming back in with a little bit more detail, because you see that little bit of lavender is really drawing much lighter. And I want to come back in down here and maybe put some shadows from these trees. Although there's no sunlight, and actually the moon's coming from that direction, so I probably need to put my tree reflections going this way, right? We got some reflections coming down here, but let's go this way. And what I probably need to do right now is just let this dry, let it do what it wants to do. It's bringing out some of these other colors from the Moon Glow. And I'm going to add a little bit of Moon Glow here at the bottom to differentiate where my trees are. Oh, I'm sorry. Gosh, why do I do that? Differentiate my trees from the ground. Put some shadows in here, going this direction. We got our moon coming this way. And I need to let that dry a bit, because I'm going to have to do more to it. Let's go back to this one though. I'm not sure I want the same type of color scheme. This has a little bit of yellow in it. And so let's go a little brighter. Let's go with maybe I'm going to go with a little bit of green gold here in my little snowbank. Let's kind of have some light shining from this moon coming down. This moon is brighter. So we're just going to let some of that come down this direction. So every time you paint, it's not going to be the same, that's for sure. And sometime you might get something that you really, really like, and then you do it again and it's like, oh gosh, what happened to that? I really liked that the first time, but this time I don't. I'm trying to get this to shine onto my, now this is not yellow. This is, even though it looks yellow, it's not. This is green gold. So we kind of have a green gold moon here shining into our snow. So colors are going to surprise you. And I like this. I like this one. Kind of come down here. And I'm gonna leave some white on this one. I kind of like that. And I did not really get all the starry effects that I wanted in this sky with the salt. And now that it's dry, it's actually too late. And even though I'm going back over this, it really wouldn't benefit me to try to add more at this point in time. I'm just going to use my damp brush to kind of show where the okay, now I don't like my sky. Come in here with some of this. Just recap a little bit. Kind of didn't like the way that was going. But that's okay. That's what we do. Let's build up our ground a little bit more. Now, if I'm not careful, I'm going to end up with, instead of adding blue, this, when it mixes in with the green gold, it's going to look too green. Come back in here with some of my Moon Glow. Now, this is when you can watch me just maybe mess it up because I'm good at that. But I am going to try to add some more Moon Glow to this since I have re-wet it. Come around here a little bit. On the outside of my moon. Come back under here. Now that is wetter, has more water on it, I'm going to come back in with some salt and see what it does. See if I can make it a little bit of a starry sky. I'm just going to put the salt in the top, not on the bottom. And that's all I'm going to do for that one. I'm not going to do all of these on camera. I just want to show you a few and just give you some ideas of the possibilities that you have when you're playing with watercolor. This is still damp, but I do want to come back in here and make more of a landscape here where the trees are. So I'm coming back in with my Moon Glow. Just hint at these trees a little bit. Like I say, it is still a little bit damp. I don't have to really be detailed. And once again, it's going to dry lighter than when I put it on. And I'm also getting some different effects now because it has dried a little bit. So I'm getting what we call some, see this mushrooming, sort of. Mushrooming is when the paint and the water just kind of squish out there. Makes it look like a mushroom. But this time I'm doing it on purpose, and I like that because it gives me the appearance of snowbanks, I think. Now I'm going to leave this one alone. I might come in here. I'm going to do just a little bit of salt down here. And see how that does. I do want to do a little bit more here on this one. I know I still have my salt on here. It's not dry yet. I'm just wanting to kind of come back in here and do some of the same thing that I did on this one. So today's lesson, it's not a lesson. I keep calling them lessons, but I'm not a teacher. I'm just learning, just like everybody else. But my message, I guess, is that a lot of working with watercolor is playing and just seeing what type of different effects you can get when you do so. I like that a little better. I just need a little more definition for my land. I'm not going to put trees on this one. I'm just going to have the light coming through. And let me add a little bit more to my moon. I am coming in with yellow this time. This is Nicolazo yellow. And Nicolazo yellow will just push those other colors out of the way. See that? So I'm going to let it do that this time. It's kind of something different. So that's just my playtime for today. Part of what I enjoy doing with the watercolor is playing and just trying things. I think I might actually go get those Q-tips. I was thinking about Q-tips as well, making little snowflakes or something. So far, I think I like this one, but I really like this one. And I know everybody's saying, stop, leave it alone. Sometimes I go back and I look at my videos and I'm like, oh my gosh, woman, stop what you're doing. Anyway, I'm going to stop right there. I just wanted to show you a couple of what I'm doing. So this is Pam. Follow your brush. I appreciate those of you that are liking and subscribing, and if you so desire, please do so. I'm not selling anything. I'm not trying to promote anybody or anything. Just share my love of watercolor and how I play with it, and how if you are learning, you can play along. Okay, I need to stop because I'm really messing this up. Thanks for watching, and that's the latest on those two. We'll see. I like this one too. It looks like I do see some stars in here, and maybe some snow falling. So I'll play with that one in a little bit. You just kind of have to let your imagination go with them. These others, this kind of looks like a snowstorm too. This one looks like it's going upward, even though it wasn't. The paint was coming down. You see how it dries so much lighter? This one is like a pretty sky. I don't know what I'll put on that one. This is going this way, and that one looks like it's going that way, even though they were all slanted the same direction. So far, this is my favorite, but I haven't done anything else to the other ones, but we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is Pam with Follow Your Brush, and I hope you're having a great day and getting ready for a wonderful holiday wherever you live. I have no snow here. I'm in Georgia, so this is totally from my imagination. Talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.